this isn't good. This isn't what I wanted. So a pretty bad turn of events. The CAN bus network, I don't know if it's shorted out or what's happened, but my keypad for the PDM is completely dead. We have a chance to make the competition still. We've been grinding for like the last week and a half, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm mentally and physically exhausted and drained. But I will be damned if we don't give it our best to try and make the comp tomorrow. So we're loading up. None of it makes sense. Why would it just die? If we can't get this working, we can't even like compete. We can't drive. We're gonna make it! We're gonna make it, baby! Good morning, guys, and welcome back to the vlog. As you can see, umbrella. The track is absolutely drenched. There's a lot of water on the track, but the surface here at Suzuka is kind of quite nice. So I think we'll do really, really well. And I'm really hyped because the last time we drove the car was wet at North Course at ABC Circuit. So I think we're gonna do really, really well. Me and Josh are just doing a track walk right now. Josh is my spotter this year. For those of you wondering where Okachan is, he's gonna be spotting for one of his guys who's competing in J3 this year. And he's over there on the other side of the track right now. We'll catch up with him later today. But we're doing a little bit of a track walk, getting our shoes even more wet, just looking at all the zones, seeing where I need to be and everything. And this is obviously the entry point here. So we'd go 1, 2, and then I guess 3, and then touch and go, and 4, which is on the other side over there. The biggest thing you need to be worried about at Suzuka is the drop-offs. So here's the zone. If you go too deep, you're in these drop-offs. Now this isn't too bad here. It's pretty gnarly, but it's not too bad. It gets really bad over here on number 2. And this is where you break arms. Pretty much no matter what you have, you'll break something here if you dip off, or bend it or tweak it or something. And that's just because the drop off is so gnarly, and then when you dig into the mud and the dirt, it just messes everything up. But yeah, it's wet, so I mean, I'm just gonna do my best. I mean, the judges aren't really looking for like a whole bunch of crazy stuff in the wet. As long as you can pretty much complete a run, you'll generally be pretty good, I think. Yeah, so we can go through here, but this is the drop that catches everyone. Oh, they did put some more dirt here. That's nice. When I was here the other day, there was no dirt here, and it was like a good half a meter drop. That's actually not too bad. I'm glad they fixed that and packed it in. Yeah, you can see they've been here with the machinery and filled it in. This was so deep here before, bro. I'm glad they fixed that. That's actually really good. And then, so after we hit this zone, we got to come out of here, and we then got to set ourselves up to come into this part and carry that all the way around. And the most difficult and challenging part is getting to the touch and go without straightening. You got to kind of like have shallow angle and just left foot brake it all the way there, I guess. We'll figure it out as we do a bit of driving. I think the technique for doing it in the wet compared to the dry is going to be very different. But yeah, we'll make the best of it. And for those of you wondering, we did get the car fixed. That's we're here. But we all only slept about an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours last night. So we're doing our best. That's all I'm going to say, and I'm going to do my best. I'm just glad to be here, especially after all the issues we had last night. It was wild. I'll talk about it later, maybe at the end of the video, but yeah, it was definitely a wild night, that's for sure. So here's zone 3, and this is what I'm talking about. You got to get all the way to that little touch and go. That's not a zone, that's a touch and go. All the way up there without straightening. So coming around this corner is no problem, but then getting from the end of this corner to there can be a little tricky. So we're going to do that, and then flick it in to 4 and done. Pretty straightforward. We got this. All right, so this is the first lap. The first thing I want to do is feel how the car wants to react in the wet. How much grip do I have, and just try to see where we're at. To my surprise, we have a lot more grip than I was expecting.
I start realizing here that I definitely need a longer gear. And then through this section of the track, it is so slippery. My fronts, you can see, we completely understeered almost off the entire track. So I throw it in reverse because I don't know how close I am to the drop off on the edge. And we head in to do another lap. As you just would have seen, I took a much shallower approach that time. With my line going to the touch and go going into 4, I realized that this is going to be a lot more difficult. We definitely need to change my gearing, and I need to focus on my line there so I can get that right.
Done a couple test laps, felt out the car. Car feels good. I don't really want to change anything about the suspension or anything. Those 5 kilogram springs in the back are giving me a lot more traction, which is great. We just need a bit more gearing. I feel like for the touch and go after 3 to like in between 3 and 4, I need a bit more gearing because I'm just like rev banging third. So my goal is to work on my initiation, get my entry down pat in those zones, and then the rest of it will just work and flow really, really well with the better gear, the longer gear. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna go back out there, get some more seat time. But otherwise, car feels great. Everything's working as it should. And yeah, hopefully we'll do well.
Practice is now over, but unfortunately, I just realized there is some kind of issue with my car. I have a complete loss of power, and you can kind of see here, I start doing some pulls to test and figure out what's going on, and I start noticing my boost isn't coming in until about 2,500 RPM later than it should be, which makes me think that maybe there's a loose coupler or something like that going on. And this is really going to affect my driving because I'm used to the car at full power, so all of a sudden without this there, it means I'm going to have to work twice as hard to keep the RPMs up and also keep clutch kicking the car.
It's time for qualifying. I think we'll be out driving in probably the next 30 minutes or so. I think we're 30 and something on the list, so we got a fair bit of time to chill. So far, car's been great. We haven't had any more issues. The main problem was yesterday, our PDM keypad completely died. It stopped receiving and transmitting data on the CAN network. We managed to find another one from a shop that was about an hour away, and then from there we drove 2 hours to Gifu, where Tanaka-san met us, and we reprogrammed the whole PDM from scratch and got it working with the new CAN keypad. We don't know what's happened or what's going on or what the deal is. We were on the phone to Link super late. By the time we got back to the hotel and everything, we only slept for an hour and a half. So we're all pretty much feeling it right now. I just took a nap in the car, but I'm just excited to be here. I'm going to be happy if we do anything. If we just driving here, it feels good. The amount that the car fought us and stuff like that just for this weekend, it feels like just being here is an accomplishment. So I just want to go into this and say that I'm not feeling great, The car's not exactly feeling great too. We're down on power somewhere and we don't know what's happened. We tried looking at couplers and a bunch of other stuff, but it's acting very similar to how it was at Sugo when the wastegate got jammed open and the O-ring and the throttle body broke. But we checked all that and it seems fine. So I'm hoping there's nothing tragically wrong. It's probably something simple we just can't find right now. But yeah, today's been great. Oh, when we had a belt break on us, like it's been bad. It's been a battle. There's a long clip, a lot of talking, but I just wanted to update you guys on everything that's gone wrong. But yeah, we're still here. We're gonna go out. We're gonna do our best. It's raining still. I'm just gonna try and put out a couple good consistent lines, get some numbers on the board, and I think we'll be okay.
Here we go, it's SAMMIT, car number 11, ゼッケン11番サム・ルーカス選手、S15 で J2 の2年目、1本目走ります。
Exactly, we're going to see how he's going to do. Fan favorite here coming around. He had issues with his ECU last night, fixed it, stayed up all night pretty much fixing that. Oh! Unable to hold on right there. But definitely put on a show through that outer zone 2. Let's see how he's going to finish the rest of this track, see if he can get a good feel for this transition. Can be a lot deeper into that.
No! Whew. It looks like it just started to pour right when he started to drive.
We zeroed. I went too hard. I went out there thinking I was going to have to line up and wait. But apparently some more people, I don't know, weren't on the list that we had. And I went out there and they were like, you got to do a burnout, you got to go. And I was late, so they were all angry at me and just rushing me. So I just went into like, just going to send it mode. Didn't work, but could have been worse. So we're going to go back. We're going to do more of like a conservative run for the second lap, just get some points on the board. I know I wanted to do that for the first lap, but it wasn't raining. And apparently it just started raining again the moment my run started, which kind of makes a little bit of sense. It was like grip was there and then it started like disappearing a bunch. So I don't know, but I just went too hard. I need to slow it down. And now that the rain's back, I can just drive like I was in practice and just kind of chill and do what I need to do. Hopefully.
We got like 10 more drivers to go, and there's a lot of guys that got incompletes, including this guy right here. あと10名ほどのドライバーがいますが、1本目0点となっているドライバーが多々います。さあ、サム・ルーカス選手、SAMMIT、2本目、得点が欲しい。
Here is SAMMIT coming real aggressive into this outer zone 1. Real shallow through outer zone 1, but able to hold on. Playing it safe a little bit through that outer zone 2 there. Let's see how he's going to finish his second part of the track, leaving outer zone 3 real deep there, but has to carry it all the way through the touch and go. Throwing a little bit of left foot braking there through that touch and go to make it into the finish.
Let's see if that's going to be good enough to put him in the top 16. 67. さあ今の走行67ポイント。ギリギリなのか今予選突破するスコア。僕らも全く分かっていません。何点が、ボーダーラインなのかも分かりません。I am not sure what the borderline is. He might be right on the bubble.
We're starting to pack down everything, but I'm sure when this video goes up, you guys already know we didn't qualify. We missed, I think we were like 20 something on the list. First time driving at Suzuka, driving on no sleep. Like I said, I think in this video that I just wanted to get points on the board. Qualifying definitely would have been a lot better. Like, you know, it would have felt a lot better to have been able to qualify today. But I'm just glad that the car's running and we were even able to drive at all. That was my main thing. We got 1 point towards the series championship. As long as we do well for the rest of the rounds, we still have a chance of winning, and that's my goal this year. I'm going to get even more serious on sim training. I'm going to get even more serious in getting more seat time in that car. Now that it feels the best that it's ever felt, I'm also reluctant about even changing the engine for the next round. Like, I don't really want to change it if it feels this good, you know? Like, I don't want to risk that almost, like getting all that seat time and then it changing and forgetting all of that, if that makes sense. I don't know. Anyways, I'm ranting, but I'm going to help the boys pack down everything. But yeah, I did my best. We got the car running. We got points on the board. Last night, I was ready to throw in the towel and just drive home and give up, but we managed to get the car fixed and working. Huge shout out to Tanaka-san. Huge shout out as well to Link, Jose, Jason, those guys staying up late, helping me diagnose all the issues and getting things sorted out so that we could even get the car running and chuck end and inspected so that we could even drive today. So I'm glad we got points on the board. Next time though, I want to qualify. I'm going to make sure we rest well. I'm going to make sure we don't have any issues like this ever again. If we do end up going with the new engine, I'll make sure it's a smaller profile turbo so it's just as responsive like this. So right now, this feels mint. I also just want to give a massive shout out to our sponsors, specifically our tier 1 and tier 2 ones. Starting on with Gamer Subs, best energy drinks. You can get waifu cups and a ton of other really cool products. If you're into gaming, if you're into energy, if you're into just having an energy drink that doesn't give you a super high and then a massive crash, something that lasts long, then hit them up. Go to gamersubs.gg, use coupon code SAMMIT. B4, Japan's biggest and best car exporter. They don't just export cars anymore, they also have parts in a ton of third-party companies listed on their website. These are the guys you want to hit up if you want to get anything out of Japan for your car. Go to their website. Also, Dapsky air fresheners. Make sure you head to their website. We just dropped a new collab air freshener recently. Canned air freshener that smells like Sakura cherry blossoms, so you can experience Sakura all year round. Outside of Japan, Garrett Advancing Motion, epic turbos. You hear the anti-lag this thing puts out. Turbo doesn't miss a beat. Yashio Factory, HKS, and of course Advent Yokohama wheels. I really need to help the guys pack down now, but to anyone that we missed, thank you so much for your support, especially you guys watching, and let's get back to this. Well, that was definitely not how I wanted round 1 for 2023 to go down, but it happened. And we just had so many problems. But I think at the end of the day, what's important is we overcame all of them. We didn't give up, and we still rocked up and we drove. We definitely didn't get to qualify, and it would have been so good. It would have been like the cherry on top if we qualified and did well on the main comp. But for the most part, I'm just happy we showed up. We put points on the board. And even when the weather and the track conditions were against us, like, so much stuff happened that day. It was absolutely wild. Dude, I can't tell you how many times I thought about giving up when we were trying to sort out the PDM keypad stuff. And huge shout out to Link for being on the phone and helping with us. And not many people in Japan know much about the whole, like, you know, PDM and CAN bus network stuff. And so it was pretty hard to kind of navigate that in the dark. And then the weird thing is like most of the keypads for PDMs, doesn't matter what brand ECU and stuff like that, they're pretty much made by the same factory, like manufacturer called Blink, I believe, and they're more so a product developed for like marine use as well as military use. So the keypads, while they're all kind of like the same, all the settings internally are different. The CAN bus is a network that your ECU uses to communicate with devices on your car. And much like it works with like computer networking with IP addresses and stuff, same thing kind of with CAN bus stuff. The keypad has like its own like identification number and certain things that it uses like setting wise so that it can communicate with everything on the network. And depending on what ECU brand uses that, you know, sold that particular keypad, that depends on what that information is. And for the Link to be able to communicate
with one from a different maker or a different brand is you need to figure out what those IDs and configuration settings are so that then you can tell the link, hey, communicate on this channel and this ID and stuff like that. So the other day we got it working, but it wasn't without us going through every wire that we could on the CAN network and making sure there was no shorts or no issues like that, because none of us had seen a keypad fail before. But at the end of it, after all of our testing, we found that it just seemed like it was a bad keypad from the get-go. That keypad had been acting pretty strange, to be honest. A few times, like the buttons just weren't working and stuff. So I think it was just a bad product from the get-go, and I don't blame anyone for that, except just these things happen, technology, and how often do you buy something and it's dead on arrival, or it only lasts a month and you got to do a warranty thing. So these days those things happen. So I'm not blaming anyone for that. It's just wrong time, a wrong place kind of thing. But that aside, once we got that all sorted, as you guys know, we didn't sleep much, and where we had to go to get everything reconfigured was 3 hours away from the track. So 3 hours there, 3 hours back. We were all on 1.5 hours sleep, and I'm sure you could tell by the video, it's pretty all over the place, but I think it really just shows you guys just what we went through. The whole team pulled through, did incredibly. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone on the team as well. Like we obviously would not have been able to show up and drive if it wasn't for everyone. But that aside, running through some of the issues, we had that power loss issue. It turned out it was a bad hose clamp on one of the couplers for the intercooler. It had actually jammed and locked one of them. So even though it felt like it was tight, it wasn't. So once we figured that out, comp was already over. So that was too late. We also had a belt, the belt had actually destroyed itself. So we had to replace that. We went to a tighter belt, which actually stopped a fair bit of the squeaking. But it was still there. And I actually have figured out a whole new solution for the belt pulley system. So that's going to solve all of those squeaking issues. And that should be a thing of the past, hopefully. But yeah, I hope you guys learned something from this video. Great turn of events, I think, at the end of it. We got the car all sorted out, and took some things away from it. We learned some stuff, and we didn't give up. So I hope it inspires you. I hope you guys get something out of this. I don't know what else to say. I need more sleep. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.
We're gonna make it! We're gonna make it, baby!